The Artist of the Year Award recognizes artists living and working in Pennsylvania for their creative contributions to the arts in the Commonwealth. Past honorees have been notable not only for their artistry, but also for their contributions to their communities. Their work has raised the stature of the Commonwealth on the world stage. The 2008 recipient of this award, Sascha Feinstein, is surely one of these. An educator, poet, editor, radio host, essayist, advisor, and mentor, Sascha Feinstein is a pioneer in the field of jazz poetry, poetry that demonstrates jazz-like rhythms or the feel of improvisation. In 1996, he founded the journal Brilliant Corners, a journal of jazz and literature. Distributed internationally, the journal remains the only publication in the nation designed to the dialogue between jazz, music, and poetry. Work that first appeared in the pages of Brilliant Corners has been reprinted in over 60 books, as well as in the annual anthology Best American Poetry twice. Each issue of Brilliant Corners concludes with an in-depth interview by Sascha with a writer or musician. These interviews were published last year by Indiana University Press in a book titled Ask Me Now, Conversations on Jazz and Literature, that was praised for exploring the relationships between the language of music and the music of language. Sascha's own jazz-related poetry has been published in the nation's most distinguished journals and anthologies, as well as in his own award-winning collection, Misterioso. A reviewer praised his work by saying, "The reader is left with the unexpected, the same wonder displayed in the music itself, the same imagination the musician brings to sound." A resident of Williamsport, Sascha is a professor of English at Lycoming College, where he co-directs the creative writing program. In addition, he is a host of WVIA Public Radio's program Jazz Standards, which airs every Saturday night throughout central Pennsylvania. I could go on, but it is already clear that Sascha Feinstein's many contributions to the Commonwealth enrich the proud tradition of the Artist of the Year category. Please join Sascha's family, friends, and colleagues in the Williamsport community as the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania recognizes the 2008 Artist of the Year, Sascha Feinstein.
Thank you. Thank you very much. This entire event would be completely overwhelming if I didn't have a pretty healthy perspective on it, which is to say, if I'm receiving Artist of the Year, then someone like Phil Woods needs to receive Artist of the Millennium or something like that. On the other hand, it was Phil who approached a buddy of mine a couple of years ago, and he said, "You know, I love you poets, because you're the only cats who make less money than we do." I'm the son of two abstract expressionists, so I learned by their example early on that the deep integrity of art, the long-lasting nature of art, has actually very little to do with public recognition, and it is something I've lived my life by. It is a sense of purpose that is a guiding force in my teaching. But having said that, I got to tell you, this feels fabulous. I'm going to read one poem in gratitude. From everything you've just heard, it's obviously very appropriate for me to read a jazz-related poem, but I'm not going to do that. The bottom line is my life in the arts, my life in all ways would really mean very, very little were it not for the fact that I'm married to the most phenomenal woman I've ever known. I'm going to read a love poem about meeting her a little over 22 years ago now. It's called Above and Below the Surface. A dragon spits the rusted dart to sell itself, and mahogany shivas drip their stain, so I vanish in shallows far from tiger sharks, the barnacled wharf and floating pylons singing the rhythms of this tide. You emerge in a lotus blossom of Indian Ocean, rivulets from your mouth to breasts, a braid over one shoulder, the sea brittle and brilliant in your thick hair as mirrored hands dry your lashes. How startled you would have been to see me so close if I had waded one stroke beyond your dive, if this story were exactly true. We did not meet in Southeast Asia or your mother's village near Madras. Should I describe that summer without storms, the stunted ears of corn lining southern Indiana highways? I sat in a half moon of students glazed in dreadful realities, silent as the inside of a fish. And from the amphitheater's crest, late because the sun should rule time, you dipped your head below the low drone, invisible, until you rubbed a pear's red blush and kissed its skin to your tongue as the flesh gave way. Remember? The chairs folded into themselves, the chalk returned to the earth, the moon eclipsed the room, but not your eyes, and not my hello, and not the rain that let me hold you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
That was great. That was awesome.
Why do I always have to follow a poet? That was incredible. And having met Sascha's wife, I could see her in that poem. It was beautiful.